Hey, good Tuesday evening, everyone. State Representative Brad Halbrook here with members of the Freedom Caucus, Leader Chairman Chris Miller, and Representative David Freese, and our State Director Colin Mosley. Welcome, gentlemen. And as we open up tonight's live stream or roundtable discussion on this very important subject, the agronomic report of the day is it's another great harvest day. It's been a great harvest week, and we're beginning to hear the words frost and freeze, which will bring the growing season to an end here, it looks like, in the next 48 hours. And of course, then that's followed up by the word furnace, which is always exciting to turn on, and hopefully it works. So with that, welcome, gentlemen. Let's just go Representative Freese and Miller, and then Director Colin, if you got just a real quick opening statement, and then we'll get into the subject.
It is my favorite time of year. I love the cool evenings, the cool mornings, and warms up in the afternoon. Perfect flannel shirt, hoodie weather. Absolutely love it. Look forward to this every year.
Yep, exactly. Leader Chairman Miller.
Well, thank you there for that show of respect. I appreciate that to start the events off this evening. No, it's been, like you mentioned, the harvest has been going well. We've been able to work every day, which is really amazing. And it looks like we got a clear forecast for a few more days. We got our father-son camp coming up this weekend. So we have a lot on our plate, 500-600 fathers and sons coming in for the weekend to enjoy inspiring ministry and outdoor adventure. But we're looking forward to that. And it looks like the weather's going to be great. And I always tell them, though, if it ain't raining, we ain't training. So, but it looks like we're going to have a clear forecast, and it's all going to be great.
Good. And Director Mosley, any opening words?
Well, I'm like David. This kicks off sort of my favorite time of year. I love the coolness of the fall, the football season and harvest and fall festivals, and it leads us right into Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so just a great time of year to reflect on all the good things from the year and enjoy time with family, and then get energized for, an election we have coming up. And then, of course, spring session in January, where we can go back to the Puzzle Palace. So just a great time of year.
Exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our subject tonight is a recent report that came out from the Do Not Harm people that we'll kind of discuss about who they are. And of course, the subject is about gender mutilization. Well, I don't think it's mutilations, it's mutilation of kids in Illinois. And of course, this report comes on the heels that these transgender procedures are banned in 25 states on minors. But this report talks about nearly 14,000 procedures in the last 4 years that have been performed on these minors. And I think, David, you were saying before we opened up that these were insurance numbers only. So anybody that was cash pay, what was that about?
Yeah, that's why. So I was listening to a podcast, and this was a topic of conversation during that podcast. And the reason we have these numbers is because this is what insurance covered. Okay, whether it's a medical procedure or if it's medication. If you're a cash paying customer, those numbers are not included in this. So the numbers are probably significantly higher, but we'll never know those numbers.
Never know them. Well, with that, let's get right back into our slides here. And there's our opening slide. We'll see if we can advance to the next one. Yeah, and so this is who Do Not Harm is. Colin or anybody, I'm just going to open this up and you guys can walk us through these things.
Well, so Do No Harm is an organization that is dedicated to essentially taking the woke out of medicine. Getting rid of DEI, changing how we do medicine, forcing providers on people, make believe, just fake science that says that men can be women and vice versa. So, Do No Harm is basically trying to take that stuff out of medicine to make medicine safer for patients and providers alike and their families. And so, this is a great organization. They're dedicated to this cause, which is really, in this political climate we're in, a very important cause. As you heard, you got some states that have banned these items, other states like Illinois that are embracing it. And we're going to see those numbers here in a second. But that's who Do No Harm is.
Okay, great explanation. And so to do that, let's go into our next slide and talk about this report that was put out. looks like stoptheharmdatabase.com. They have a state-by-state breakdown. This even goes as far as even into each individual hospital in each state. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
And they're really trying to just, expose. This is about exposing and informing people about what your local hospital is doing, how your state matches up, providers, things like that. And other slides, you're going to see the hospital breakdown. One that's especially disappointing on the list, but yeah. So I mean, this report, it's a great tool to know what's going on in your state.
So again, you can go to this stoptheharmdatabase.com and click on your state, and it's going to have a hospital by hospital breakdown. And to that point, let's go to the next slide, and we can see here you've got a screenshot of some things in Illinois. And these names we're familiar with.
Yeah. I think University of Illinois Hospital is, to me, the most disappointing one to see on the list. You've got 80 or so kids, 90 kids that have, undergone this treatment at University of Illinois Hospital. Others on the list, Springfield Memorial, Carl. And then, of course, you've got the children's hospitals like, Lurie and Shriners and things like that. But, 418 kids in Illinois that have had their lives totally permanently altered. It's just sickening.
Right.
I think it's totally disgusting that we're even having this conversation. I mean, it's just shocking to our moral compass that we're allowing this to happen under our watch. And one thing that I know is that the radical left has figured out that greed is the Achilles heel of Americans and even in the medical profession, because if there wasn't millions or billions of dollars following all these reassignments and mutilation, they would not be doing it at all. I think that we need to redefine what DEI is, and maybe discipline, excellence, and integrity might be a better way to change the narrative on that. Because I mean, the medical profession, by their COVID response and issue after issue, they have lost the trust of average Americans that are paying attention. And I mean, I know that when I had minors in my home, they couldn't go to the dentist. They couldn't get their ears pierced without parental consent. And here we are, fast forwarding. I mean, these people have the morals of a doggone tomcat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there's a reason why we don't allow minors to do certain things. It's because they have no understanding of what's going on, no worldly knowledge. They're 15, 16 years old, and we allow this to take place that is going to permanently alter their life forever, and it is sad. And I think he nailed it when he said this is all driven by money. I think the medical profession has sold their soul on this issue, and it's really sad.
Exactly.
Well, and it's really sad to listen to some of these adults later in life that are now dealing with the long-term negative effects of this. And as they've tried to transition back to what they were, it's never going to be the same. And they are regretful for making the decision or allowing it to be done to them at an early age. So something has to be done. It's like you say, it's just crazy to think this is where we are. And this is a discussion that we're having. And to the numbers, nearly 14,000 of these from 2019 through 2023 that we know of. It's just disheartening.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, like you said, that we know of. I mean, it's, as always is the case, if we know of that many, we know there's more. And, Chris brought up, it's all about the money and the greed. Nationwide, at the duration of this report that was studied, you had $120 million in those 4 years of submitted charges to provide or by providers to insurance. So let alone the cash pay, but there was $120 just in insurance payments alone to be made in a 4-year period off of mutilating children, chemically castrating them, permanently damaging their bodies. People are profiting off of this, and it's absolutely sick. And on that, we jumped slides, but on the last slide, I'm really disappointed to see University of Illinois Hospital on this list. I mean, And there's other hospitals that I'm disappointed in too, especially the ones that are, religious hospitals. But, I mean, I don't know to what degree the association is between the university and the hospital and the state, but somewhere there's a connection there. And I just think it's pretty disgusting that our university hospital is, one of the leading non-children's hospitals providers of children being mutilated. I mean, it just makes me sick.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've endured 50 years of child sacrifice, and now we're going through the next phase of this child mutilation. Boy, and the trafficking, the sex trafficking of our minors, that's off the charts. Boy, it just seems like the whole world's on fire right now, and hopefully we have legislation to deal with this situation. All right. Any closing thoughts on this slide, or as we close out the evening, gentlemen?
I think that we need to recognize that the radical left is always trying to destroy the foundation of what makes America America. And one of the things that has made America great is because we've had strong faith and strong families. And so it makes complete sense that the radical left attack is on the foundation of our culture, which are those two entities, our faith and our families. And because of their, I don't even know what drives their agenda to even make this a topic of discussion, make it an issue, but they've invaded the government schools and are indoctrinating these kids and adding confusion to them every day with their perverted sex curriculum, et cetera, et cetera. And it just seems like they're driven to raise the next generation of perverts more than they are the next generation of patriots. And the adults in the room need to stand up and say, stop it. And we're not going to be complicit with this radical agenda anymore.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, the majority of the population does not agree with this, even in this state. I know we're governed by Democrats, but we're gonna give the Democrats an opportunity to stand up with us, because we will be filing legislation to put a stop to this.
Exactly. Gentlemen, as we move to our last slide here, as we close out the evening, this is how you find us, IllinoisFreedomCaucus.org. If you'd like to contribute to our cause, there's a way to do that right there. And then, of course, we have a Substack letter that goes out every week and a half. You may want to join in on that and keep up to date there. Gentlemen, did I miss anything before we close our evening out?
No, I think we covered it.
Okay.
Make sure you vote early.
Vote early.
On election day.
Yeah, we're on election day. And we go back to veto session in 4 weeks. So we'll have updates before and during and after about that and what's going to happen there. And so, gentlemen, unless there's something else, I'm going to hit the close out and we'll be done for the evening. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, and share our content, as it helps us overcome the algorithmic gods of the big tech overlords. And with that, thank you, gentlemen, and have a good evening.
Yeah.